Again, good approach.
And Roach has something to say about that.
Yeah, he does. And the interesting thing is, Roach.
I think he said, I'd advise you not to talk so much.
Bruh.
It could be bad for you, but you already know that, though.
I don't know where you got that from.
With less than 4 weeks left until fight night, the excitement surrounding the showdown between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. is reaching an all-time high. Both fighters have been making their intentions clear, whether through their rigorous training sessions or the fiery words they've been exchanging online. The build-up to this epic clash is heating up as both men prepare for the ultimate test in the ring. Fans are eagerly anticipating what promises to be an unforgettable battle.
Look, big bro, coming out with the upset. A lot of people are going to pick Tank going into that fight, but how do you see that playing out?
I see my brother walking out victorious. No, there's no doubt. Not because that's my brother, but because I seen him.
Recently, a training video of Gervonta Tank Davis was shared online, and it quickly caught the attention of fans and critics alike. The video showed the 30-year-old boxer working on his hand speed, and it spread like wildfire. One person who took particular notice of the footage was his opponent, Lamont Roach Jr. This led to a heated exchange between the two sides, which eventually resulted in a physical altercation. The tension between them continues to build as fight night approaches.
He's kind of a similar boxer to Colbert. He's a puncher who's,
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling you saying you going down in a night?
Just hours ago, Premier Boxing Champions posted on Instagram to build excitement for the upcoming fight. The caption read, "War ready on March 1st. Undefeated boxing superstar and WBA lightweight world champion Gervonta Tank Davis returns to the ring against WBA super featherweight world champion Lamont Roach Jr. One of 1X PBC PPV on Prime Video at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The post quickly gained attention from fight fans, but it was Lamont Roach's response that really stood out. He resent the video on his Instagram story with a bold message. Upset alert. That was all it took to get people talking, as Roach made it clear he believes he's going to shock the world. It's a bold statement, especially considering Gervonta Tank Davis has earned a reputation as a knockout artist. In his last fight in June, he knocked out Frank Martin in the 8th round. And this is nothing new for Davis, who has been knocking out opponents early for over a decade. However, Lamont Roach Jr. is no easy opponent. The Washington native has an impressive record of 25 wins, 1 loss, and 10 knockouts. Last year, he put on a dominant performance against Giovanni Santiago, dropping him once in the 3rd round and twice in the 4th before stopping him.
As we said, is a smart boxer, so we'll see.
At 130 pounds, whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and weight to make you look good again.
One challenge Lamont Roach Jr. faces going into this fight is that he's moving up in weight. Gervonta Davis competes in the lightweight division, while Roach has been fighting at super featherweight. This difference in weight could give Davis a natural size advantage when they meet in the ring. Despite this, Roach is confident that he can defeat the WBA lightweight champion. Over the years, boxing has seen its fair share of surprises, and Roach is determined to add his name to the list of fighters who pulled off an unexpected victory. Things got even more heated when Ring Magazine posted another training video of Gervonta Davis. This time, Tank was seen working on uppercuts under the watchful eye of his trainer, Calvin Ford. The video quickly sparked debate among fans. Some viewers weren't impressed and claimed Davis's hand speed appeared slower than usual. One person even suggested that Shakur Stevenson would have no problem outpacing Davis. Others dismissed the criticism, saying that Davis's speed didn't matter, as his power would be too much for Roach to handle. Some fans even questioned why Davis was fighting Roach at all, arguing that there were bigger names in the lightweight division who would make for more exciting matchups.
We are 1/3 of the way through this one.
The most intense moment of tension came when the two teams crossed paths recently. It wasn't Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. who almost got into a fight, but rather Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, and Roach himself. As soon as their eyes locked, the atmosphere shifted. Words were exchanged and the tension in the room skyrocketed. Before anyone could react, Ford and Roach were face to face, shouting at each other. Ford, who was always passionate about defending his fighters, wasn't going to let Roach's confidence slide without standing up for Davis. Roach, on the other hand, wasn't about to back down and stood his ground, firing back with just as much intensity.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plants for White, and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys. And they're going to go to the press conference, and Elliot Setback's going to say, who do you want next?
For a moment, it seemed like things were about to get out of hand. It was the kind of situation that could have quickly escalated into something much worse. But before it turned physical, security and members from both teams stepped in to separate them. The tension, however, didn't fade. That moment made one thing clear. This fight is personal. There is real bad blood between the two sides, and the mind games are already in full swing. The Lamont Roach Jr.'s bold statement about pulling off an upset is not just for attention. He genuinely believes he can win. On the other hand, Gervonta Davis, the favorite in the fight, is no stranger to opponents trying to get under his skin. He knows the game well. The difference is, Davis doesn't just talk. He delivers in the ring. His past performances speak volumes. If Roach isn't fully prepared for the kind of power Davis brings, he could end up learning a painful lesson.
Started off throwing a lot of punches. Again, now he's going back to just, 1, 2 shots at a time.
I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm a show up.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
I ain't worried about it.
While Lamont Roach Jr.'s supporters are dreaming of a Cinderella story, Gervonta Davis's fans are eager for another knockout highlight. This fight is about more than just titles or unbeaten records. It's about pride. Both fighters have something to prove. Roach wants to earn respect and shock the world, while Davis aims to remind everyone why he's regarded as one of the best in the sport. Gervonta Davis's year has already been a wild ride, and it's only February 1st. There was talk of retirement that caused a stir in the boxing world. Then, his new haircut added fuel to the fire, leading fans to wonder if the undefeated knockout artist was going through some personal changes, possibly even hinting at a departure from the sport.
Oh, I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter.
Fans were left wondering, was the 30-year-old champion really considering walking away from the sport at the peak of his career? The rumors of retirement sparked concern, but just as quickly as they began, they were overshadowed by something much more reassuring. Videos of Tank Davis back in training. And he wasn't just going through the motions for the cameras. He was sharp, explosive, and moving like a man who had something to prove. That was enough to silence the critics and reignite excitement. Davis was back, and with his showdown against Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st quickly approaching, it was clear his focus was fully locked in.
You want to pressure of your Roach. Oh, beautiful.
I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds, but I'm always looking for a knockout. And if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
While the fight with Lamont Roach Jr. is all but confirmed, the big question everyone is asking is, what's next for Gervonta Tank Davis? The lightweight division is packed with talent, and Davis has a target on his back. Shakur Stevenson has been calling for a fight. Devin Haney is always a part of the conversation, and even boxing legends like Mike Tyson have shared their thoughts on what's next for Tank. However, one of the most surprising twists in this ongoing saga comes from Saudi Arabia. His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh, the man behind boxing's recent rise in the Middle East, has set his sights on bringing Davis into the Riyadh season fold. Al Sheikh has been making waves by organizing some of the biggest fights in modern boxing, and now he's eyeing Tank Davis. The real question is, will Davis take the offer?
Said something interesting when it comes to Garcia. He said he has an interesting style.
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducked him.
Mike Coppinger of ESPN recently sat down with Turki Al Sheikh for an exclusive interview, and, as expected, the conversation touched on the fallout from Jake Paul's canceled fight with Canelo Alvarez. However, the real news came when the topic shifted to Gervonta Tank Davis. Al Sheikh didn't hold back. He made it clear that he wants Davis to be a part of the mega fight scene that's being developed in Saudi Arabia. More specifically, he expressed his strong interest in setting up a huge showdown between Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. I hope one day to see Shakur against Tank, Al Sheikh said.
3 people in the world that I think that could beat Tank. That would be Devin, that would be Shakur, and Tank Davis himself.
You got the last one right. That's the only person that can beat me. Gervonta Davis. That's the only person. Them niggas cannot touch me at all. They all been in the ring with me.
They all been in the ring, and I cracked both of them.
For those keeping track, this was a surprising twist. Not long ago, Gervonta "Tank" Davis had gone on an online rant against Ring Magazine after being left out of their awards event in London. Given the tense relationship between Davis and some boxing media outlets, it seemed unlikely that any bridges would be built anytime soon. However, Turki Alal Sheikh, always the businessman, made it clear that he doesn't take things personally. "I don't take anything personally, I'm professional," Alal Sheikh explained. "I don't need to like you to talk with you."
2013 National Golden Gloves Championship. In fact,
I hope one day seeing Shakur against Tank.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you and Canelo Alvarez were not on the same page last year. Now you are. Gervonta Davis. You're giving an invitation to Gervonta Davis.
I don't take anything as a personal. I take it as I am professional.
It was a simple, straightforward statement from Turki Alal Sheikh, focusing on the bigger picture, making the best fights happen. There's no denying that a matchup between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Shakur Stevenson would be one of the most exciting in boxing today. Mike Coppinger pressed him further, pointing out that Alal Sheikh seemed to genuinely appreciate Davis's talent, despite any past issues between Davis and certain parts of the boxing world. The Saudi royal nodded in agreement, saying, "He is a great fighter, of course, no doubt about that, but we need to see him in big fights more and more."
Garcia's last opponent, Gervonta Davis, twice in the amateurs, lost those fights, but he is well.
That last comment stuck with many fans. While Gervonta "Tank" Davis is undoubtedly a star, there has always been some criticism about whether he's been taking on the biggest possible challenges. With Devin Haney moving up to 140 pounds and Shakur Stevenson making his mark in the lightweight division, the pressure is growing for Davis to prove himself against other top names in his weight class. And if there's one person who's been outspoken about this challenge, it's Shakur Stevenson himself.
Your reaction to Tank retiring?
He's retiring?
That's what he said.
Nah, he's not retiring. It's a lot of big fights to be made out there, and Tank knows that. I don't think he's gonna retire, with a lot of unfinished business.
While all eyes are currently on Gervonta "Tank" Davis's upcoming fight against Lamont Roach Jr., the name that keeps coming up in talks about Davis's future is Shakur Stevenson. Stevenson has been relentless in his pursuit of a fight with Davis, making it clear that he believes a showdown is inevitable. At the Ring Magazine Awards Gala in London, Stevenson didn't hold back. He called a potential matchup between himself and Davis the biggest fight in the world, and he's not exaggerating. This fight, with Davis's explosive power facing Stevenson's slick defensive skills, would be a dream for boxing fans. But the build-up has been tough for Stevenson. He's heard Davis give mixed messages about the fight, and it's starting to get to him.
Very much getting to know you round, a tactical start in this title fight. Good.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Who that?
The Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming his name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
In a recent interview with Dev Soni of Queensberry Promotions, Shakur Stevenson expressed his frustration. "I remember watching interviews where he says he's going to come get me and that I'm on his list," Stevenson said. And then he turns around and asks, "What has Shakur done for boxing? Who is he?" It's like he's being very bipolar. This was a rare moment of frustration for the usually calm Stevenson. He's been waiting for this opportunity, but Davis still hasn't committed to making the fight happen. This uncertainty has led to more speculation about whether Tank is avoiding the fight or just waiting for the right moment. While Stevenson is eager to face him, he's not the only one who wants to see this fight go down.
As you said, coming forward, he said, "I want to get out of the gate quicker against him."
Boxing, nigga, like that's when I look at y'all two as the best in the division. How? Show me something that he did. Show me something that he did outrageous. Show me. Right, his power not outrageous.
Okay.
What defense?
You think he got defense?
Mike Tyson is never one to hold back his thoughts on major boxing matchups, and when he was asked about a possible fight between Davis and Stevenson, he didn't hesitate to share his opinion. "Wow, that's a good fight," Tyson said on the It Is What It Is podcast. "I'm going with Tank." But Tyson didn't stop there. He went on to emphasize just how important this fight would be for Stevenson's career. It would be a very interesting fight. Tank will bring out the best in him. Tank is just a monster, Tyson explained. Coming from a former knockout king like Tyson, his words carried a lot of weight. He seemed to suggest that while Stevenson has all the right skills, facing a fighter like Davis would truly show what he's made of.
Hey, Shakur, like I was telling Bud, it's either you or Keyshawn's gonna get tanked, so the walls are closing in, so awesome.
It's gonna be him, though.
It makes sense. He's closer.
Big brother first.
Absolutely.
Gervonta Tank Davis is fully focused as his March 1st showdown with Lamont Roach Jr. approaches. Despite the distractions in his career, including retirement rumors, social media rants, and constant talk about future super fights, Davis is sticking to what he does best: preparing for battle. History has shown us that when Davis steps into the ring, excitement and fireworks are almost guaranteed. However, Lamont Roach isn't just another name on Davis's list of victims. The 130-pound champion, moving up to challenge the WBA lightweight title holder, knows the odds are against him. He understands that the story is already being written. Tank by knockout, another brutal finish for the highlight reel. But Roach has been putting in the work, training hard and firmly believing that he's found the secret to shaking up the Tank Davis show.
Said I want to get out of the gate quicker against Jamal Herring in his other title match.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together.
Lamont Roach is fully aware of the challenge he's facing. Tank Davis isn't just a puncher, he's a ruthless finisher, a skilled strategist who can read his opponents like a book and capitalize on even the smallest mistakes with deadly precision. Tank's knockout record speaks for itself. It's not just about winning, it's about how he dominates his opponents. Roach's game plan is to push Davis into uncharted territory, stay defensively sharp, and, if the chance comes, test Davis's chin. Roach's recent win over FALMCC gave him a boost in confidence, showing him that his power is improving. Against Davis, he believes that with the right timing and perfect opening, he can land the punch that changes the fight.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know, son. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say it's cap? And it gotta be. You gonna say it's cap? I'm watching it.
There's a big difference between stopping someone like McRow and taking down Tank Davis. Tank has never been knocked down, never seriously hurt in a fight, and hasn't shown any real signs of weakness when it comes to his power. Roach, while a solid puncher, isn't in the elite knockout category. He knows he'll have to bring something special to change that. That's where his conditioning comes into play. Roach understands that scoring an early knockout might not be realistic, especially if Tank can handle his best shots. If it goes the distance, Roach is ready for all 12 rounds. He believes his work rate, discipline, and endurance will be his advantage. "I'm expecting it to be a great fight, and I'm prepared to go 12 rounds," Roach said. It's a bold attitude, but confidence can only take you so far when you're facing one of the most dangerous finishers in the game.
Yeah, what works for Garcia is the pressure, volume punching, looping overhands.
So we fought in the regionals in Baltimore in his hometown. It was a close fight. Obviously, I thought I won. We sent there was like an incident where a point got taken from both of us, and it only should have been him, or whatever the case may be. And we sent the tape to USA Boxing.
While Lamont Roach remains optimistic, not everyone thinks he has much of a chance. Former Tank Davis opponent Rolando Romero, who knows all too well what it's like to face Tank's power, doesn't give Roach a great shot. Romero, who can punch hard himself, made it to the 6th round before Tank landed a left hand that ended the fight in devastating fashion. From Romero's point of view, Roach is walking into a nightmare. Everything is in Tank's favor, Romero told Fight Hype. He's not a better boxer than Tank, he doesn't hit harder, and he's not bigger. He's moving up in weight, which could slow him down. Tank has an incredible IQ and better legs. There's no real argument for Roach in any of these areas. Romero's analysis is harsh, but seems pretty spot on. Tank is a natural lightweight with elite explosiveness, while Roach is stepping up in weight for the biggest fight of his career. Historically, fighters who have moved up to face Tank haven't fared well. 4-division champion Leo Santa Cruz was knocked out cold, and Mario Barrios, a naturally bigger fighter, was overwhelmed and stopped in the later rounds. The pattern is clear. If you don't have the power to challenge Tank, you're in for a tough night. Romero added, "Sure, Tank could have an off night. That can happen to anyone. But based on everything, you can't argue that Roach has the edge in any of these areas."
Doing that, good approach from Roach in this first round.
Roach on his
Tank and Lamont Roach. Is that the right opponent for Tank?
I don't know why everybody is kind of sleeping on Lamont, but he has a decorated amateur career too. He's a very funny kid. He's very skilled. Tank is Tank. You know, and when I say Tank is Tank, I mean like he's a bad man. He can fight.
If Gervonta Davis has been paying attention to all the outside chatter, he certainly isn't showing it. Despite rumors about his retirement, offers from Saudi Arabia, and talks of a future showdown with Shakur Stevenson, Tank is staying focused. New training footage has emerged showing him looking as sharp and explosive as ever. One thing that has always stood out about Davis is his ability to block out distractions when it's time to fight. While controversies and social media drama have followed him throughout his career, they've never affected his performances on fight night. Davis remains laser-focused. His preparation for his upcoming fight against Lamont Roach is no different. Reports say Tank is doing what he always does, fine-tuning his timing, enhancing his counterpunching, and making sure he's ready to go the distance if needed. That said, Davis is a natural finisher. He doesn't often let fights go to the judges' scorecards. If Roach is planning to take Tank into a 12-round chess match, he could be walking right into Davis's game. For Roach, this fight is a career-defining moment. A win would immediately put him in the conversation for the top pound-for-pound fighters and open the door to even bigger matchups. It would be the ultimate underdog victory, one that could completely change the lightweight division. But for Tank, this is all about maintaining his momentum and continuing his dominant rise.
Verse about 12 rounds of boxing that didn't go as well for him as the ones that preceded it.
I'm gonna beat his ass if y'all talking.
Tank Davis is already being mentioned alongside boxing's biggest names like Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Saudi Arabia is interested in bringing him in for some major fights, and a win here would keep those talks alive, solidifying Tank's place as one of the most sought-earner fighters in the sport. Anything less than a dominating performance, however, will likely raise doubts. And we all know Tank doesn't like questions. He prefers to provide answers. How do you think this fight will go? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. We'll see you in the next one.